Man, does it seem like, man, these Cleveland media and these Cleveland inside personnel, are they turning their back on Deshaun Watson? Now, we done heard every good thing about Deshaun Watson at the start of OTAs on how great he looks, how he's bounced back from his Achilles injury, how he looks mobile and nimble out there, and how he's throwing the ball, in OTAs, and how good he looks. And everybody is trying to give him a second chance. Even head coach Todd Monken said he believes in second opportunities. But have they gaslighted Deshaun Watson up so much? Now they see Shedeur Sanders has performed tremendously well in OTAs. And now it seems like this Cleveland media is kind of going in reverse. It seems like more bad news is coming out about Deshaun Watson on how some Cleveland media personnel seems like they're turning their back on Deshaun Watson. And they say they don't want to sit through 2026 seeing Deshaun Watson out on the football field. What is that going to benefit the Cleveland Browns? Now everybody sees the type of person and type of quarterback Shedeur Sanders is, because Todd Monken basically told you guys that he has made tremendous strides through this whole OTA process. But everybody was so on Deshaun Watson, giving him his props and everything. But it seems like y'all kind of slowing down and putting the car in reverse, because y'all see what it is now. Y'all see that it is a legit quarterback battle. Y'all see it's a competition. It's not no handouts. It's not what the report stated earlier, where everybody jumped on the bandwagon saying, oh yeah, it's Deshaun Watson's job and things like that. Not so fast. And it looks like, man, this Cleveland media, man, it looks like, man, they kind of turning their back on Deshaun Watson, man. But we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. Nah, it's my bro K-Sap. Chopping up topics for your outfits. From politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic. Man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, I got something to say, man. It kind of looks kind of strange on how things are starting to unfold, coming out of these OTAs, because everybody was on the Deshaun Watson train at the start of OTAs. A report came out, everybody ran with it. Yeah, just give the job to Deshaun Watson. But I think this Cleveland media and these Cleveland insiders are starting to get a hard dose of reality, that they know that they don't want to see Deshaun Watson out there. And it's looking bad, because Shedeur Sanders is giving the Browns a pause on this QB1 timeline on the way Shedeur Sanders has performed in OTAs. And it seems like some of these media personnel are turning their back on Deshaun Watson after giving him all this grace and all this good stuff to go on, and people running with it saying, yeah, Deshaun Watson, hands down, is going to be the quarterback one for the Cleveland Browns. But Shedeur Sanders has a say in this. Shedeur Sanders is making people sit back and think like, oh, maybe we got something here. And it's the bad news that I'm hearing, from certain reports and certain articles I'm reading and certain things that people are sending me, that this Cleveland media and these insiders really don't want to have too much to do with Deshaun Watson. Listening to the afternoon drive on the Fan with Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wright. Nick Wilson, I'm sorry. They said some things that is very interesting. But I'm going to let y'all guys listen to it, and y'all let me know what y'all think about the message they're trying to convey when they spoke today on the afternoon drive on the Fan. Take a listen.
In the previous segment, when we played Coming Back, about 2 weeks ago, that's probably where I was with the quarterback battle. And there's something about the last 2 weeks and how Shedeur's, whether it's what Monken said, whether it's some of the reports about how Shedeur's looked, and maybe I'm off on this, but I feel like all of a sudden we're back to having an honest quarterback battle.
You're not off, and I'm just trying to figure out if it's because I want it to be an honest quarterback battle, but I don't get the impression you're off. In fact, when Nick was talking, and Nick does this every day, Nick is very plugged in, Nick also focuses on 32 teams. Yeah. And so I was thinking to myself, he's got to update his webpage a little bit, hit the refresh button, and find out where the Browns actually were last week. But then I'm thinking, am I making too much out of a practice where Coach Riz called him a practice MVP or whatever the hell it was? Like, are we putting too much stock into Todd Monken's thoughts and commentary on how tough this is actually going to be?
I mean, listen, if we thought there might be a little too much being put into the first 3 practices of OTAs a month and a half ago, then it probably stands to reason we probably swung the opposite way. And I think it's also fair to say that maybe some of that's informed by the fact you and I would rather do just about anything in 2026.
Just about anything.
Than watch Deshaun Watson play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and so I'm worried. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, are we just off? Does everyone else feel like the comments Todd Monken made last week don't really matter, and this is just an end result of Deshaun Watson? He'll be your quarterback week 1, and it was always destined to be this.
Or I think what we can do is we can strike all of that from the record because it kind of cancels itself out, and then go back to what I think is ultimately the best question you can ask yourself if you're the Cleveland Browns about the quarterback position, because it's between what is best, or what gives me the best chance to win. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the 2 questions. And then the second one is what actually has long-term viability if it works out.
Right.
And I think one of those is definitively Shedeur, and the other one gets decided in weeks like this week.
Oh, and that's why I've been saying for months, it's like tie goes to Shedeur. It's not even close. Like if it's got to be, if we're within a win or 2 as far as your prognostications in that building between what Deshaun and Shedeur can do, you have to just give it to Shedeur and see what he can do first.
I think what's interesting about last week's reports and Monken's comments and 6 weeks ago's reports is I have very little interest in one half of this quarterback battle. And yet I'm not willing to basically give up on 2026. And I think the Jared Verse inclusion of the Miles trade proves that even if they don't have all their eggs in the basket of 2026, they're not either.
No, but I feel like you're watching for different things, though. So like when we ask how invested in the quarterback battle are you, it's a quarterback battle in Cleveland. We're going to be invested, obviously. If you're listening to this right now, you're invested to a degree. But how much of this season for a lot of people is just watching the young kids versus watching Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders actually play football?
I mean,
Now, guys, you heard exactly what Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson said, man. So they basically told you they don't want to see Deshaun Watson go out there in 2026. And that why they keep using this analogy, tie goes to the run and give it to Shedeur. Because, see, they wasn't sure of themselves from the beginning. They just wanted to go with what everybody else was talking about. What was hot at the time is that you saw a guy in Deshaun Watson come back from 2 Achilles injury to get back on the football field, and he looked good throwing the ball. He looked like he was in shape. But then there's reports out there that he didn't perform too well in OTAs. Then there's reports out there that, Shedeur Sanders made this a real competition, a real quarterback battle, a legit thing. Like Todd Monken was telling you, he told y'all from the gate, from jump start, that this was going to be an open quarterback competition. He didn't throw the blindfolders over our eyes like Kevin Stefanski did last year when he said this was going to be an open quarterback competition, which it never was. It was all about Dylan Gabriel. And you see that got Kevin Stefanski walk right out the door. Now you got a new regime in Todd Monken. And Todd Monken told everybody from the start, regardless if you believed him or not, that this was going to be an open quarterback competition. Now that they see that it's an open quarterback competition and everybody between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders was getting split reps. Some days Deshaun Watson got most of the reps. Next day, Shedeur Sanders got most of the reps. Now you see what it's all about. You see the competition. You see what Shedeur Sanders is capable of doing against a 9-year veteran and a Pro Bowler. Now you've seen that. And now that the Cleveland media and the insiders are understanding that giving Shedeur Sanders a chance, giving him reps, you see exactly what he can do. You've seen the maturation process. You've seen everything that Todd Monken has told y'all from the start about Shedeur Sanders. Y'all seeing it before your eyes. Now you got to believe it, because what Shedeur Sanders has done has made you guys take a step back and start to think like, nah, we can't ride this train with Deshaun Watson. Let's put Shedeur Sanders out there and see what this guy got. And that's turn this program around. You see that trading Myles Garrett and bringing in Jared Verse, a young, hungry dog, youth movement. You got the youth movement from the class of 2025 going into 2026. They're getting younger. Why not give Shedeur Sanders a chance from the very jump? He's proven to you guys that this is a quarterback competition. This wasn't no handout. Shedeur Sanders is out there competing, and he's showing you guys. That's why you guys are backpedaling on what y'all saying about Deshaun Watson. Y'all not confident in standing what y'all said earlier when OTA started, when your compadre, Mary Kay, put out the report about Deshaun Watson he looks brilliant out there. Just give him the quarterback one position, let him rock out with the ones, and let's go. Pump your brakes. But everybody, was on that train. You had people on the outside on that train. You had Shady McCoy on that train. You had all the major media outlets on that train about Deshaun Watson just being ahead of Shedeur Sanders. But everything that we've seen, all the footage that we've seen, and all the reports that we've seen, and everything that we heard from head coach Todd Monken, let y'all know, pump your brakes. You still got Shedeur Sanders. You still got number 2 there. And he's proven to you guys that he's worthy of a chance to run this organization and run this franchise. Get down in the comments section, man. Let me know what y'all think about today's video. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh, yeah. Just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.